Hi everybody and welcome to this new episode of Tech Pizza. Before we get started, I have an important announcement to make. Next week on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Central European Time, we're going to have the first Tech Pizza live. It's going to be a live session on YouTube where we're going to talk about all this crazy new AI stuff that is going on in the world. We're going to talk about AI-generated art. We're going to talk about large language models. We're going to talk about how all these things are going to impact potentially your career and the world. And we're going to also address questions about my new program AI Ready, which is a new program I designed that is up for sale that is going to help you go from zero, from not knowing much about AI, to being ready to use it in your career. So join at the link in the description, and I hope I'm going to see you there. First Tech Pizza Live. Guys, this is exciting. That being said, today's news are first news, main piece of news, AI getting into politics. What the hell does it mean? More on that later. And then we're going to talk about a lot, like really a lot of Tech Pizza Bytes. So small news that I think are really relevant for today. That said, let's get started. Artificial intelligence is getting into politics. What does it mean? Two news. One, in Denmark, there's a new AI party that is trying to compete for the elections that are going to come up in November. This is called the Synthetic Party, and it's run by an art collective together with a non-profit organization here in Denmark, where I live, by the way. I don't know if you knew that already. The public face of this party is a bot called Lars, and this bot was trained on data coming from fringe parties in Denmark from the 70s. So it's meant to represent the ideas of the 20% of Danish voters that don't actually go vote in the elections. The AI's positions are a little bit extreme. It's proposing a universal basic income of 100,000 Danish kroner per month, which is roughly 13,000 euros. It's a lot of money and definitely much more than the average income here in Denmark. AI is making an appearance also in the UK House of Lords. There's an AI robot called AI Dall-e that was interviewed by UK politicians last week. UK politicians ask different kinds of questions from, hey, what is art? To, hey, are you going to replace us? But what's important is that you understand that these examples don't mean that AI is replacing politicians or is getting into politics and is governing us. Both of them are art experiments meant to raise awareness from politicians and from the public opinion on the importance of artificial intelligence. In the case of the Danish AI party, their goal is to push the United Nations to add one new goal to the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. This goal will be life with machines. So trying to research different ways in which AI can cooperate with humans and how to educate humans to work together with AI. In the case of AI Dall-e, the bot that was in the UK House of Lords, the creator said that his goal was to try to bring awareness on the ethical problems of looking at technology as part of humanity. And it worked. UK politicians were either super thrilled about the potential of AI or completely terrified. So for sure they're going to talk about it because you see, the biggest problem, I believe, in artificial intelligence is that technology is being deployed 100 times faster than AI education. We are getting towards a world where AI is everywhere in our life, but just an extremely limited amount of people can understand how it works. And this is what makes me get up every morning and work on AI Academy, because I want you and everybody else to be able to understand how AI works, make it part of your career, and work with AI. So once again, you should join my program AI Ready. Go check it out in the link. Apple is becoming a bank. The Cupertino company released a new product that will allow users of Apple Card to deposit money in a high-yield savings account. No fees, no minimum deposits, no minimum balance required. What is interesting is that Apple is outsourcing all the boring bank stuff to Goldman Sachs, so you actually have a savings account with them, not with Apple. The genius here is that Apple is taking care of the two things that it can do better than everybody else. One, user experience, it looks pretty cool. And two, they have 1 billion devices into people's pockets. It's an amazing distribution channel that no other bank has. This is, I think, an amazing part of Apple's strategy to try to diversify from selling hardware, selling phones and computers, to selling services. And I think it's gonna work. Let me know what you think in the comments. Kanye West is competing with Elon Musk. After Elon Musk decided to buy Twitter, Kanye West wants to buy Parler, which is a right-wing friendly kind of Twitter alter ego. His decision follows his ban from Twitter and Instagram for his anti-Semitic posts. Now, does this matter? Let's just try to put things in context. Parler has 725,000 active users in the United States. Twitter, on the other hand, has tens of millions. So who is gonna care? There's a research from Pew Research Center that says that 80% of the political posts in the US are made by US citizens that have more than 50 years old. So basically, if the only value proposition of Parler is that you can be a Nazi without anybody bothering you, well, then it's just gonna be that. And it's gonna be limited to old people saying Nazi stuff, even with Kanye West at the helm. TikTok wants to compete with Amazon. There are a lot of new job postings that appeared on LinkedIn from the Chinese company that is trying to find experts in warehousing and in distribution because they want to power their new e-commerce operations. This is pretty interesting because TikTok is already building a successful ads business, but is already trying to diversify in a world where ads are less effective because of privacy, etc., trying to build a successful e-commerce business, which is something that Meta has been trying to do for a while without being successful. Do you think TikTok is going to succeed at that? Let me know in the comments. Censored Ethereum blocks reached 51% of transactions in the past 24 hours. In August, the US government decided to blacklist Tornado Cash. Tornado Cash was a tool that was used by people to hide the traces of where Ethereum came from. And it was used to launder $7 billion of illegal funds. So since it was blacklisted, it's illegal for any US citizen or organization to interact with Tornado Cash, which means that Ethereum validators decided to not validate transactions coming from Tornado Cash, effectively banning Tornado Cash from the Ethereum network. This is proof, once again, that in the blockchain, decentralization exists in theory. In practice, governments still have a lot of power to influence the direction of these decentralized protocols. Or should I say, decentralized protocols. Coinbase announced a big partnership with Google. Here's everything that it's going to cover and what it means for the crypto industry. 1. Google Cloud customers can now pay for Google Cloud in crypto, which is great because if you're building a Web3 startup and you want to be paid in crypto by your customers, now you can use crypto to pay Google for, the servers that you're renting, etc., etc. 2. Google will offer developers different tools to query blockchain data, which is going to make it easier to build Web3 applications. 3. Google will use Coinbase platform to give institutional investors access to crypto services. And number 4, Coinbase is going to start using Google Cloud as their provider of choice for all their operations. So this is interesting because it's another step to make it easier for people to use cryptocurrencies. And maybe it's going to actually help Web3 spread even more. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. There's an AI-generated podcast where Joe Rogan is interviewing Steve Jobs. Now, Joe Rogan obviously has never done this, so how the hell does this work? First, they developed an AI clone of the voice of Joe Rogan and Steve Jobs. And this was relatively easy because there's a lot of data of Steve Jobs and Joe Rogan speaking into a microphone, right? Then they used a large language model called GPT-3 to generate text that looked like was said by Joe Rogan or Steve Jobs. They used this technology to generate a script for a conversation, and then they used the AI voice clone to basically read this conversation loud. The conversation does not make a lot of sense, to be honest, but it raises interesting questions on what can you do with all this new amazing technology. And that's a question for you, actually. What do you think you can do with all this cool technology? A good way to answer this question is to join my program AI Ready, which is going to teach you everything you need to be successful in using AI in your career. Check it out, and I hope I'm going to see you in class. Thank you for joining this episode of Tech Pizza. Once again, my program AI Ready is on sale. We're gonna do a Tech Pizza live session next week on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Central European Time, where we're gonna talk about what is going on in artificial intelligence. We're gonna talk about all these new crazy technologies and how they can impact the job market. You're gonna be able as well to ask me questions about my new program AI Ready, as well on the future of AI and how it can impact your career. I hope I'm going to see you there. First Tech Pizza Live. This is exciting.